Return of the Living Dead is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. With its varied cast of characters, a plot filled with constantly escalating tension, horrifying practical effects, and memorable scares that range from simple moments of unnerving tension to outright panic-inducing terror, with a healthy dose of black comedy. It certainly earned its place as an 80s horror classic. I could make a whole video on what makes the scares in this movie work, but there's one fairly downplayed moment in particular that I want to focus on here. One that few people seem to pay much attention to, but which I find to be the scariest part of the whole movie. While barricading the mortuary, the characters manage to capture a live zombie. Well, half of one. Seriously, the practical effects in this movie are amazing. They strap it to the embalming table and begin to interrogate it. As they do, it quickly becomes clear that these aren't your typical mindless walkers. They retain their memories and intelligence, and are able to plan, use tools, and even set traps. And then, we get to the worst part.
Pain!
What about the pain?
The pain of being dead.
Hurts to be dead.
I can feel myself rot.
These zombies can feel everything. That's why, unlike other zombie movies, they're not moaning. They're screaming in agony.
Hey, do you hear that? Hear what? Christ, Jesus. What is that?
Pain which can only be momentarily subdued by eating the brains of the living. What they're going through is an absolute nightmare. Being pulled abruptly from their rest and into a terrifying and unnatural new reality. Or are they? I have no idea if the creators intended for this to be the case. I'm only going off of my own read of the situation based on admittedly minor and subjective details. But it's the way I interpreted things the first time I saw it, and I feel it's at least worth talking about. What if trioxin doesn't bring the dead back to life? What if all it does is enable them to move around again, and everyone, people, animals, even insects, whoever died, has been conscious the entire time, unable to move, to speak, to breathe, all while being able to feel everything that's happening to them, including their own decomposition. Underground, in the dark, in ever-increasing pain, for decades. When the dead are reanimated, they don't have a moment of confusion as they try to figure out what's happening, or to make sense of the compulsions they're feeling. They immediately go on the attack. We know they're not just blindly aggressive like the ones from 28 Days Later, and the one they interrogate seems able to articulate itself pretty clearly for having only been in this state for like an hour. Ernie seems to be the one most rattled by this revelation. As a mortician, he'd certainly have to be thinking about the endless implications it carries, about all the embalming procedures he's performed with the recipient fully conscious and unable to alert him that they can feel everything he's doing. It would seem that cremation, presented as the only way to truly eliminate a zombie, is the most merciful fate possible, though undoubtedly agonizing in the moment. But then again, maybe not. When zombies are dismembered in this film, the severed limbs remain animated, requiring no connection to the brain to function, and in fact, destroying the brain itself has no effect on them, aside from causing intense pain, of course. With that in mind, it's not crazy to think that even cremation doesn't truly kill a zombie, and they may go on living as nothing but ash and bone fragments. I've always felt that in this moment, these characters, or at least Ernie, are learning that this is the eventual fate of all life on Earth. Anyway, sleep tight.
I thought you said if we destroyed the brain, it'd die.
It worked in the movie!
Well, it ain't working now, Frank.
You mean the movie line?